What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today is story time. A little bit of story about motivation, inspiration, but we're going to talk a little bit about breaking. It's not that serious, to be honest. But I do want to talk about a time that I did almost quit breaking. And I figured it's good to talk about, and I do tell some people about it, but I haven't really told a lot of people about this. The more that I grow up out of breaking, competition-wise, and just kind of just mature in the community, the more I think about the beginnings, right? And when I was starting, how I really was viewing breaking. And, a lot has changed for me since I started to where I'm at now. And that includes the friendships that I've made or the enemies that I had in breaking that I'm super cool with now. And I think this is just part of growing and breaking. And I think it's also what makes breaking so fun and entertaining, right? I think the drama aspect of breaking kind of keeps it alive, right? Okay, maybe not keep it alive, but it definitely makes it entertaining for other people to talk about. There's nothing more like fun to talk about than like somebody beefing with somebody else and then like battling at catching each other at a jam and battling or something, right? Like, it's fun, it's entertainment. And I think it's like some WWE type stuff. So I do think the drama is like kind of necessary in breaking to an extent. And when I was younger growing up, there was drama. Obviously, it was a bit more rough, I will say, because during my time growing up, I mean, I talk about this from time to time, but there was a fist fight literally at every single jam that I was going to, at Philly, in New Jersey, in New York. And I say them states because I grew up around them states, right? And I'm talking about early. This was before I was even going to Maryland a lot. I'm talking about early days of like, I don't know, within the first 3 years of me breaking. So, um, people talk, badly about each other. And it was kind of like normal, but also I was young, right? And I just remember a specific time that I do like to talk about when I was younger, that I was really at a crossroad and I was really sitting there debating on, should I continue to break, or, what's the point of me even doing this anymore? But let me get into how this kind of all got situated. So when I was younger, there were message boards, right? There wasn't really YouTube. I know YouTube today, there's comments everywhere, right? Even when I first started on YouTube, yeah, I had some comments, but there's nothing ever like crazy, right? And I might just be fortunate enough, honestly, to maybe just not hear a lot of them negative comments. I honestly had a lot of support growing up, but even in the beginning to where I'm at today in breaking. I'm fortunate enough to have that. But that doesn't say that like I don't have people that talk badly about me, right? Like, I think everybody is going to, no matter what, no matter how good you try to be, you're going to have people talking badly about you, or no matter how right you even are or think you are, there's going to be people disagreeing with you. So I think it's okay, and I think it's just necessary. It's going to happen. But when I was growing up as like a kid, and this is like very beginning, we had these message boards. And some of you guys have been in the scene for a long time might remember Freestylesession had a big message board. And there's another message board called Extreme Kicks. And this was for like the Philly area, the tri-state area, basically. But mainly like the Philly area. When I grew up, I was in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I wasn't living in the city yet. And we would go to a lot of events that these Extreme Kicks guys would hold. And Extreme Kicks meaning this guy named Brian Slode. And some of you guys may remember Brian Slode. For me personally, I was very young, so I didn't win events. So I don't know about any kind of drama with them situations or anything. But for us, like, he was like somebody who was throwing events for the community. And I remember one of my first big jams I ever went to was Survival of the Illest out in Connecticut. And it was literally the first time I saw people like Ronnie Ruin, Dunock, Caveman was out there. Bebe, like all Ground Zero was out. Ground Zero and LOZ actually entered together at that jam. And I remember like just seeing these guys, and it was honestly like one of the first times that it really hit me to be like, whoa, like being somebody in this community is like crazy. Because I remember like, I think one of my friends was talking to Ronnie Ruin, right? And I had no idea who he was because it was the first time of me seeing him. And them being like, yo, that's Ronnie Ruin. Like, he's the best powerhead on the West Coast. And I remember being like, whoa, how do you know all these people? Like, it was literally like just something out of like, I don't know, I can't really explain it, but it's like Marvel, right? It's like knowing characters in Marvel, like, oh, that's like Wolverine, that's like Spider-Man. Like, that's how I felt. It was something really cool, and it was its own community of just really dope breakers. And one of the things that really motivated me when I was a kid also was to get in, hopefully one day, that lineup, right? To become like an Avenger, technically. Or I can't even say like an Avenger, just part of like that Marvel lineup that people know like who you are. So that's just one point that really stuck out to me from that event. But going back to Extreme Kicks message board, sorry, I will ramble off now and on again. So Extreme Kicks message board, that's where like a lot of people used to talk, and especially a lot of people in our community. Now, when I was first growing up, my main like people that I was looking up to was in my area, not even like the breaking community, just like in my area. So I'm talking about like Illidale Flav guys, but there's also a side crew called like D's Nuts Crew, and yeah, there was like Original Kicks. There was a lot of like crews that I was growing up with that just don't exist today. They're not on YouTube, but keeping the legacy of word of mouth alive about these crews, I think, is also kind of important. Illogistics as well was another one of these crews. But I grew up like, battling these guys. I grew up in the city battling these guys, but I also looked up to a lot of these guys. Like, I mean, yeah, at the time we're young and we talk crap about each other. And I think it's like the ego is there. So when you're young and you're battling, you're not going to be like, dude, man, I have so much respect for you, because at that time you're like, no, I'm trying to smoke you. Like, that's just, it is what it is. But I do remember being like around, maybe like 2-3 years into breaking, and specifically on this message board, you would just go and comment, right? Post up videos and comment. That's the meaning of like these message boards, or word of mouth to get like events out. It's almost like a Discord, but just a little bit more slower. So basically, I remember specifically there was this event that me and two guys from my crew, it was Napalm and Brandon, I think, that went and battled at this event, and we filmed it and we posted up on Extreme Kicks, and we're like, oh, like we used to like making trailers. Like, trailers were something. Like, I know people like to post up whole entire battles today, but when I was younger, it was all about trailers and solos. It was just very short, sweet, to the point. So what you could do for these battles is, go underneath of the clip that was uploaded, and then you can comment on this message board and talk to other people about it, right? And I remember specifically, it was like these dudes in the community that like I grew up, like I respected, and like I hoped that one day, these guys would, see us as like the up and comers, like they would acknowledge us in some way, right? But, and also, to be fair, like I didn't really talk crap at this point. Like I wasn't in the drama sphere or anything at this point. I was just breaking, right? I was just breaking the break. I didn't really know about it. And I remember like seeing a few comments on there be like, and one comment specifically that said something like, it was the premise of it was, oh, like these kids can do Flare 90 now, but wait until they hit their growth spurt. And joke's on you, because I never hit my growth spurt. I mean, I guess the joke would be on me then, right? Nah. Seeing that comment, especially from somebody that I looked up to, and I don't know, I wouldn't really think you'd have a reason to like really be upset at me for breaking in general, and just doing not only that, but it wasn't even like a bite. It was just a normal obviously it sounded like they were a little bit jealous that I had something that they didn't have. So I didn't really, like appreciate it, right? And I didn't feel good about it. Um, but also, yeah, it's demotivating to hear that, right? Especially from somebody up top that you respected. And then a couple months later, I heard through the grapevine from one of the guys who used to kind of like look after us um, as breakers, like growing up. Like, it was an older guy, but he was like showing us the ropes. Uh, he basically told us that some of the guys in the scene were having conversations about us, and we were like, we were rising up, and hopefully one day we could be in a crew, one of the bigger crews in the community. And one of these guys mentioned to him that, oh, like they said we're gonna be done breaking within like 3 years. They said we weren't gonna last any longer than the rest of the year. We're just doing this as a hobby. We're not taking it serious at all. So these two comments, okay, this was like my crossroad intersection. They stick out to me so much because they're the ones that like really made me feel something of like, man, like what am I like really like, what am I breaking for? Like, if I'm like not even like, I'm not even doing anything to anybody, and like people are like talking crap about me. So I had two options. I either stop breaking and go on my life doing something else, or I get really good and I prove everyone wrong and I just smoke everybody. And I went with that path. I went with the, let's get good enough to smoke these dudes and to make them look dumb, to make them eat their words, right? And I think that motivation pushed me through my entire career, or when you say career, of breaking, competition-wise at least. And I think a lot of people get into that road of like, do I quit or do I push forward? So much backlash happens, especially today. The internet's like a different beast at this point. I think it's much harder to come back with a lot of comments being pushed on you. I know it's easy for people to say, oh, just ignore it. At the same time, it's not easy to ignore it all the time. Everybody's different, and I get that. So a lot of comments bashing on you, I do understand that. It is very demotivating. But the way to look at things, and I'm speaking to people that are usually stuck at that fork, is you have an option. You either don't listen to people, you push forward, you prove people wrong, and you just smoke everybody. Two, you just take it easy and you don't worry about it that much. At the end of the day, though, you're going to have a lot of comments. If videos are going up about you, even for me just talking about breaking, you're going to have people disagreeing with you. You're going to have people disagreeing with your style. You're going to have people talking crap about you for no reason at all. It happens. It's just the way it is with putting footage online about yourself and giving opinions. Which also brings me up to a good point. Anything that I talk about, guys, it's my opinion. It's my personal experience. I'm never telling you guys to do it. It's the rules of breaking. You got to listen to me. And I think a lot of people get confused with this sometimes. And they think, man, like, but I heard this from Dom, and Dom told me to. No, I'm giving you guys my personal experience and my advice. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not hip hop police. I'm not b-boy police. I'm here to just help you guys out by giving you my personal experience. And I think this is why I enjoy doing these like small talks with people. Because I think it's just good advice sometimes. And sometimes people go through it. Sometimes it's bad advice and people are going through it. But I'm just giving you my advice so you can maybe have an alternate route. If, an alternate route if you're only thinking of one route to go. So, yeah, so with that being said, I use it for motivation, right? And slowly, year after year, progression was massive. Actually, I progressed, me and my crew progressed extremely fast in the beginning because of, I think, the motivation we had to prove people wrong. Especially the first like 4 or 5 years of me breaking, I just was going super hard practicing. Me and my crew. I mean, me and Napalm specifically practiced like next level sometimes, just because we had bigger competition or something. I'll give you an example, like who can roast the most, right? We were invited to do a 10-round exhibition against people. He was battling Evil from Chicago, and I was battling Future from Flex Flave, California. And during that time, we each had to go 10 rounds against, the opponent. So we, at practice, would just hammer in rounds, right? Like, just getting stamina up, being prepared to, like, end good or begin good and end good, right? Because I think that's very important with battling. But either way, that's a story for another time. But yeah, so the story that I just want to talk about is just, yeah, I almost quit, but I chose to take a different path. And I think that's very important for a lot of people to know, that there's more than just quitting. If you get demotivated, there's other options to take, right? There's people to talk to, your homies. Even I'm able, if you guys want to hit me up in a DM, leave a comment, leave a message, guys, feel free. I'm always open to talk about it. It's every day I get multiple messages from different people hitting me up about breaking. And it's just either new people, it's people that I already know, but we talk about breaking, in a very positive way, that I try to avoid all the negativity in breaking. And like I said before, drama's kind of needed in breaking. So there's going to be a little bit of negativity, but that negativity can only go so far where it becomes a little bit over the line. And once you go over the line with the negativity, I'm not for it. But I do think, breaking needs a little bit of drama in it. So there's a little story for you guys today, just about how I basically almost quit because, I was very young, and, hearing crap talked about me for the first time pretty negatively and in public in front of everybody was kind of embarrassing and, not so fun to hear. So just letting you guys know there is other options to take. Don't get demotivated just because people are talking crap about you. You can use that as a motivation, and sometimes it's a lot, but, hopefully you have some people to talk to about it. And not, again, like, feel free to hit me up. I'm always open to talk with people about breaking and help you guys get motivated or help you guys out in any way. So with that being said, story time's over for today. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting me. Leave a comment below if you guys have your own story about how you almost quit and what motivated you to stay continuing into breaking. Other than that, if you guys aren't following, subscribe, send a like, and that's about it. I hope you guys have a good day. It's about to rain here. Tomorrow, I will be going to the Hype Foodies Festival, which is also having a breaking, well, it's all styles competition, which I will be judging out there. It's in DC, so if you guys are in DC, I'll see you tomorrow. I would say, hey, go to the event, but I'm probably going to post this after the event. If not, no, maybe I'll post it the day of. Might be in time for you guys to get there. But either way, I hope you guys have a good day, good week. I have another video coming out as well. It's just taking a little bit of time to do it because I've just been so busy with priorities on the outside of video editing in life. So other than that, check you guys later. Peace. Those cops just drove by me. But I'm just talking, so I'm not doing anything bad. Bye.